Have you ever wondered why there's some businesses that will hit hundreds of thousands a month, and there's some, which is actually 95% of businesses, that will either not hit 10K a month or just completely fail in general? In today's video, I wanted to tell you what I think is the differentiator between those two types of businesses so that you can kind of avoid the mistakes and implement and mimic the things that I think are beneficial. So if you don't know me already, my name is Reuben Shears. I have an online funnel building agency that I'm kind of building and scaling in public in these daily update videos, trying to give you as much value as possible. I think we're on video 52 now, so we've done one per day. And like I say, yeah, let's give you some value, so let's jump straight in. So I'm not going to talk about the fact that obviously these 100K a month businesses have like big teams and stuff, because the only reason they have teams is because they can now afford to do that with the money they're making, right? There must have been something that they did to actually get to that point of scaling the company. So I think that there's only three ways you can position yourself, like for another business or an individual. So whether you're B2C or B2B, you can either make them money, so you can make someone else money, as in you increase their income, or you save the money. So you have some sort of deliverable that reduces their expenses in some form in their business or their personal life, or you can save them time, right? You can't make them time because that would break the constraints of physics and space-time itself. So that's why there's not the corresponding make time. So there's three things that we can do for people. And I've noticed that depending on the current stage of business that they're at, if you're delivering a service, for example, like me building funnels, or maybe you're doing email marketing, or you have a course, so you're selling info, I've noticed that for most people who are kind of like starting out, making the money is the most important thing to them by far. And positioning your offer in a way that links directly back to making money is gonna make you more money, right? Because if you can say that you're gonna add, I don't know, like 20K to someone's business, 20K a month to someone's business, then you can justifiably maybe charge 25% of that. So like you can charge a 5K a month retainer for adding 20K a month in attributed revenue. So it's a very tangible thing. So if your offer right now is not linking back to money or any of these two other things, then there's an issue there. Like maybe your offer is like, I build websites, for example. It's like, okay, you build websites, it's like, who cares? You need to tie it back to conversion, obviously, and then how you're going to make them more money through this new optimized website, for example. But that applies to really any service business. If you have an info product that is teaching someone something about business, maybe it's optimizing fulfillment, operations, automation, maybe you're selling AI automation, that sort of stuff, then you need to link it back to money, because that's what people care about at the end of the day, right? So if you want to start somewhere, I would recommend this one, right? That said, when you get to a level of business where you've kind of got the proof that you know what you're doing and you've worked with a lot of businesses, then you can start to move up the ladder. Let me draw a ladder. There's a ladder of businesses, right? At the start, you're going to be working with people that are kind of 0 to 10K a month, etc. But you're going to get to a point where you might be working with people doing six figures a month plus, right? When you get to that point, you actually might be able to deliver services for them that will save them money in the long run. So that might be, for example, I've built back-end automations and systems in Notion for teams, like team management systems, to save them money, because otherwise they would have to have like a manager in their business that they're just paying a salary for of, say, like 60,000 a year. It's not necessary when you can build systems and automations to solve those problems. That's an example of how you can save someone money in their business. Maybe you have a software that does 5 things that 5 other softwares can do, and it can reduce the expenses that way. It's super important as well to think about if you have something like that. And then, of course, moving on to the last thing is saving people time. People value their time. In fact, I have friends and business owners that are, 30 plus age-wise, and they all wish that they could come back to my age, for example, at 21, with the money that they had at the time and go all over again, because age and time trumps money every single time, from what I've seen empirically. That means people do value it, and you can charge for it, which means if you can deliver a service that saves someone time, they're going to want to buy that. I'm trying to think of an example. So you could like implement some sort of productivity system for a business owner, for example, that will get them 10 hours back per week. That's very tangible as well, because you're saying you're going to get this amount of hours back per week, and maybe you can link it back to and them being able to spend more time with their family, etc. Super important. So you can position yourself that way. It's a little bit more tricky than just saying you're going to make someone more money, because that's very, very obvious, like what that is. But these two are kind of overlooked, and there's opportunity to make extra money here. Maybe you're trying to increase LTV, so your intro offer is make people money, so mine's double cash collected. But then maybe later down the line, you're actually going to try and help them, for example, me, or like optimize backend processes for them. Then that's a kind of saving time thing and a saving money thing, like put together, because I'm helping them streamline and productize their operations. So super interesting. But like I say, my main offer is 2x in cash collected with our sales funnels, because I know that's the easiest thing for people to understand and comprehend. So if your offer is not linked to one of these three things right now, very like obviously, so the header on your landing page and your funnel is not really directly going back to one of these three things, then change it and make sure it does, because that will have a monumental impact like on your business as a whole. And this is what the guys that are doing good numbers are actually doing, right? They're just making sure their outcomes are tangible for people that come through. So that's what we'll go with today for 6 minutes. Cool. If you don't know already, I like to track my growth across my social channels. So I've got YouTube at 131 and 8991 on LinkedIn, because I like to see my growth and that my inputs on a daily basis are contributing to something, which they are. In the last 24 hours, we've had 3 additional subscribers on YouTube and 24 followers on LinkedIn, which means my trajectory right now is kind of looking a little bit like this, which, as you can see, is very, very consistent growth due to the consistent efforts that I've put in to building my business, building kind of, these are really sales assets, to be honest. I'm not actually bothered about getting loads of views at all. I want you guys watching this video to understand that I know what I'm doing, and then potentially work with me later down the line if that's something you want to do in the least kind of forceful way possible. So yeah, 8991 on LinkedIn, really good. So we're going to cross the 9,000 soon. And other than that, if you want to watch another one of these videos, then you can watch it on the screen here. It will recommend you one that it thinks you should watch. So I recommend doing so, and I will catch you in the next one.